Hello and welcome to our first show of the day here on FLW TV. Friday morning can only mean one thing, it's the betting show. My name is George Harbey. I'm joined by Ben Wignall, a man who's been in fine form, I think, recently. Ben, in my absence, is that right?
Yeah, I got the banker in it. Finally, an Acca last week. It was a nice little 14-1. Hopefully, I can find a few more winners this week. And obviously, we've got a bit more of an extended fixture list. But aside from I think we had only 12 fixtures last week. So hopefully, a lot more to choose from and a few more winners.
And Marcus, hopefully we can follow in Ben's footsteps this weekend.
Yeah, a little bit of a disappointing start for me last week. Just a 1 out of 4 selections coming in. But yeah, there were some mitigating circumstances around that. Had Bolton held on to the draw at Sheffield Wednesday last week, which obviously they went on to lose 1-0, I would have had 3 out of 4 selections come in with the Acca as well. So I'm a little bit frustrated with Owen Doyle for missing some chances last week, but trust the process, all that good stuff. Back again with fresh 4 selections, hoping for an improvement.
Sorry about that, I don't know what happened there. So thankfully the international break is now over. Championship, League One, League Two, all in action. So we've got quite a hectic, quite a hefty fixture schedule to pick from this week. So there's no excuses for us, it shouldn't be. Make sure you subscribe to us on FLW TV on YouTube. As always, leave your thoughts and comments, and then obviously the comments below. And make sure you gamble responsibly, and make sure also you're 18 and over. Right then, let's get into our first pick of the show. Let's start with Ben Wignall then. Ben, can you get another banker winner this weekend? Who have you gone with?
I hope so. I'd like to pick my bankers as something over evens, just so there's a little bit of value still. And it was a bit of a hard one, to be fair, this week. I think there's a lot of fixtures with teams who are either on winning runs or teams who, off the back of losses, playing each other. And I've gone with Reading at home to beat Barnsley at 6-5. I found the best price with Betfred. I just think Barnsley have been really struggling. I think if they are going to pick up a win, it will be probably tomorrow after the international break. They've had a few weeks of work, but I just think that with Reading getting a few players back, Liam Moore's fit now, we're back in defence. I just think they should have a bit too much for Barnsley on the basis of what I've seen recently. I know they're missing a few players like Zhao and Mete who have, scored goals in recent years, but the likes of Swift and Ajari are back on form. And I just think the Reading have got a little bit more squad depth after they made a few signings back end of the window. I know Junior Hoylett scored against Cardiff, I think, last time out. So he's another one to add to the mix. And I just think that they should have a bit too much for Barnsley from what we've seen. That's 6-5 with Betfred. I think that's pretty decent value.
Definitely. Reading fans, let us know what you think in the comments below. Will you get another win this weekend? Marcus, who are you going with?
A bit more plain and simple. I'm going MK Dons to win at Shrewsbury. That's at 11-10 or 2.1 with William Hill. Now, MK Dons lost their last match 2-1 at Doncaster. Let me down in that one. But I'm still confident in Liam Manning's side. I think they're one of the better teams in League One so far. Shrewsbury have been struggling a bit towards the bottom end of the table. They've lost their last 3 league games 2-1, which to me suggests when you have so many 1-goal defeats that maybe there is going to be some kind of upturn in form. But those 2-1 defeats they were 2-0 down within 23 minutes at Bolton Wanderers. That was pretty much a write-off. And Sean Whalley scored their 1 goal at Ipswich last week, a bit of a worldie. I'm not sure you can rely on that coming in every week. So yeah, not feeling too great about Shrewsbury Town at the moment. MK Dons have, I think, scored the most goals in the division. They're 3rd for expected goals. So I'm feeling good about MK Dons at an odds against price as well, just like Ben's pick at Shrewsbury Town this weekend.
Lovely stuff. I'm in the last man standing group and I'm struggling about who to pick. But I might have to go with this one who I've gone with today. Forest Green Rovers to win at Scunthorpe, 8-15. So, very short odds there. Scunthorpe obviously in a bit of dire straits at the moment. Only won 1 game from their 11 in League Two this season. And last time out they lost 6-1 to Harrogate Town. Forest Green also lost last time out at home to Swindon 2-0. A poor performance from them, which is a bit of a rarity. But apart from that, they've been simply sensational this season. Still sit first, having scored 20 goals in 11 games and picked up 23 points. Away from home, they're still unbeaten as well. And having scored 11 goals on the road, they know where the net is for sure. So 24th against first is sometimes a bit of banana skin, and I appreciate that. But I just think that Forest Green, when they do eventually or rarely do fall to a defeat, they often bounce back quite emphatically. So Forest Green, you can get a Scunthorpe 8-15 there. Not the most highest of odds, but it's a banker for a reason. Right, let's move on to the Acca. So then we'll go back to Ben Wignall, who obviously got his Acca in last week as well. He's going to hope for another one this weekend. Ben, who have you gone with?
Yeah, let's try and make a habit of it. Got Reading, obviously, from my bank. I'm sticking them on there. Harbey, you'll be delighted. It's got Forest on again against Blackpool. I know Blackpool are in good form, but I just think that Forest back at home on a few match winning streak, they do seem to have turned the corner already with Steve Cooper, and I thought they were about 21-20, so I thought they were good value. But also gone with, this could be a risky one considering the general away form. Ipswich away at Cambridge. Like Forest, I think Ipswich may have turned the corner now. They grinded out a win against, who was it last week? Shrewsbury. I thought they might have conceded late on, like they have in a few games, but they held on. I just think now that Paul Cook may know his best 11, could move on now and get a few wins under the belt. So I've gone with them as well. And my final one, which I thought was quite a little bit of value, Swindon at home to Rochdale. I don't really understand why they're 6-5. I think they're 23-20 in some places. But Rochdale on the back of a few losses. I think they lost to Bradford and Crawley recently. Swindon just beat Forest Green 2-0, and they've had a few eye-catching results. So they're on. So that's a 4-4. So we've got Swindon, Ipswich, Nottingham Forest and Reading, and with Betfred it pays 20.33 to 1. So £10 on that will get you about £210 back.
There's good odds for a 4-fold. That is, it's very generous. That is. Marcus, what are you going with?
It's a 3-fold for me again, just like last week, just below 5-1, so not as juicy of a price, but still decent for an accumulator. I'm with Bet365 as well. Got the banker with MK. I've actually got 3 away teams in this Trixie. So you've got Sunderland at Gillingham. Gillingham usually defensively solid under Steve Evans, but they're actually ranked rock bottom in terms of expected goals against so far this season. I think Sunderland will definitely want to bounce back from that harrowing afternoon 4-0 defeat at Portsmouth. Ross Stewart has had a couple of weeks off to rest and prepare. I'm sure Lee Johnson will be firing his players up to get back to winning ways at Priestfields. And then the last selection is Harrogate Town. I'm going with 0 on the Asian handicap, which is exactly the same as draw no bet. They're at Colchester United. That means if it's a draw, we just carry on with the other two matches, and that bet would be voided, but the Acca continues. Cole Ewer really struggling. I think Hayden Mullins is under a bit of pressure. They lost Kwame Poku, Callum Harriott, Courtney Senior and Giovanni Brown this summer, 4 really good attacking players for the level. So yeah, they really are up against it in League 2 at the moment. Obviously, as we mentioned, Harrogate winning 6-1 against Scunthorpe last week. They'll be full of confidence. They're second for expected goals for in League 2 as well. So I think Harrogate are a good shout. I'm just a little bit worried that maybe Colchester might be able to batten down the hatches and dig in for a 0-0. If that does happen, we're still on. But yeah, MK, Sunderland and Harrogate 0 on the handicap. Very
good, very interesting. And mine up finally. I mean, I've obviously gone with my banker, Forest Green, for obvious reasons. Gone with Forest as well. As I said, Ben, I think Forest back at home, it'll be a big task for them really, because they've suited plan on the counter attack in the last 2 away games against Barnsley and Birmingham. So Blackpool, as you said, are in good form as well. And whether they come to City Ground and look to just settle in, hit Forest on the break and play them at their own game, that's something Forest have to deal with. And it's, he wants to get a first home win. So get that monkey off the back. I've gone with Wickham at Doncaster. I just think that Doncaster, I know they beat MK Dons last time out. But is that enough to really turn things around after a fairly dismal start? I'm not too sure. Wickham have won the last 3 on the bounce before last week, and away from home. And I mean, to be fair, the home away record's not been as good as the home record. I think they've drew 2, 1-2, lost 2, so they're fairly inconsistent in that department. But I think they've got too much for Doncaster this weekend. And yeah, just like you said, Marcus, I think Sunderland again. I know they lost before the international break against Portsmouth, but going to Gillingham, who aren't in the best of form, I believe that Sunderland will have enough there, and the fact that Ross Stewart has also had an extended break, then he'll be ready. He'll be wanting to get back in firing all cylinders. So that pays 8-1 on Sky Bet, a fourfold, so not too bad a price. Let's move on to our value tip. This is where it all starts to get a bit more fun, which I quite like. The value tip, and after that is the wild card. Make sure you leave your comments in and get your own bets in, or your thoughts on what we're picking for this weekend. So Ben, what's your value bet for this weekend?
Well, I was hoping that Coventry might be a bit bigger than 6-4 away at Blackburn, but I think the bookies have cottoned on to Rovers not having any forwards. I think Brereton's still with Chile, Gallagher and Dolan both haven't trained this week, so I think it's been reflected with them being favourites, even though they've not really got a great away form. Swindon was one that tempted me at 23-20. That felt a bit too big, but I've gone with Tranmere away at Carlisle. Now this could be a little bit of a risk because obviously they sacked Chris Beach, Carlisle, this week, so they could have that new caretaker manager bounce, if you will. But I just think that Tranmere at the minute quite solid. They started the season pretty poorly or averagely, but I think they've kind of clicked now, and I think they're being led by the nearly 40-year-old Peter Clark, who scored 3 goals in his last 2 games, so he'll be trying to extend that streak. But I just think it seems like a game where they could just go away and get a 1-goal win and take it back to the Wirral. So yeah, Tranmere at 15-8 is my pick. There wasn't too many, I didn't think, to choose from in terms of teams winning who were decent odds. So nearly 2-1, I think, is a good shout.
You don't miss a trick, do you, with your Blackburn forward? I might have to take that into my thinking this weekend. I wasn't aware of that, so thanks a lot for the tip. Marcus, I think you're going to disagree with one of my Acca picks here, aren't you? How dare you?
Yeah, a little bit similar to last week. I tipped up Oldham to win or draw at Mansfield. Not because I was too sold on Oldham, but I just thought the odds were far too short on Mansfield. I feel a little bit similarly with Wycombe at the Keepmoat Stadium against rock bottom Doncaster this weekend. I'm using the Asian handicap still, a bit more insurance in this selection. Doncaster plus 0.75. That means if they lose by 1 goal, we get half our stake returned. And if they draw or win the match, then we're in business. That's at 17-20 with Bet365s. I think they've turned a corner a little bit in recent weeks. The win over MK Dons was huge. And I think with Wycombe not as strong away from home as they are at home, I just think the pricing is a little bit too short on them to go and get the win. So keeping 2 outcomes of the match on side, don't need to get a win or a draw, I think puts us in quite a nice position. If you want to go solely just to win or draw the game, that's an odds against price as well, so even a little bit more value there. But I think plus 0.75, we get the sort of comfort of half our stake coming back if they do lose the match by just the 1 goal. So yeah, I think hopefully we can profit off Wycombe not being as clinical as they have been at Adams Park on the road.
Interesting 2 picks there. I'm going to end the value tip bit with Swindon at home to Rochdale. I think you touched on this earlier, Ben, actually, but I looked at the prices last night and I was really surprised, to be fair. I know obviously Swindon picked up a really good win at Forest Green last time out. They're unbeaten in 4 and haven't only lost 1 game since the second game of the season as well. So they're in good form. Granted, their away form isn't the greatest. The home form isn't the greatest. I think they only won 1 out of 5 games at the county ground this season. But, I think they've got a lot of quality going forward. And Rochdale have lost the last 3, haven't won in 4. So, above evens for a team who've just beat your local-ish rivals away from home, fighting for a promotion spot, whether that be automatically or playoffs, that is a really good price, I feel. So 23-20 on Sky, Swindon at home to Rochdale. So we're going to move into my favourite section of the betting show now. I mean, I landed I think it was 13-1, Morecambe to Accrington, both in scoring both halves last time I was on. So, just pat on the back there. Get your comments in, who fans from either club, who is your pick for this weekend? Let's have a bit of fun with this. Ben, who's your wild card for this weekend?
Well, I'm purposely trying to land one of these after you did. I almost said last week I picked Walsall versus Salford, and Walsall scored in the first minute, so I thought maybe it was going to come, but Salford didn't end up scoring in the first half. They both did it in the second half, so I was 1 goal off on that one. I've gone for another both teams scoring both halves, and it's probably one of the shorter ones of the whole weekend in Fulham v QPR, and I don't normally like to back the early kick-off. I'm one of them ones. But I just thought this was a little bit too good to pass upon. It's 9-1. The two of the highest scorers in the Championship. So unlike most other games, it's not even double figures in odds. But I think it's worth a shot. They've both got two pretty good goal scorers with Mitrovic and Dykes, and they've got goal threats going all across the pitch. So just think if any game's going to be both teams scoring both halves, it will be probably this one in the whole EFL. Like I said, now I said that, it might be a 0-0. You never know. But yeah, 9-1 Fulham QPR. Both teams score both halves. That's my wild card.
It's a risk you got to take. It's a risk you got to take in betting. Marcus, I think you're going to buy a ticket for the Keep Moat this weekend, are you? I think you've had a bets with Doncaster Wickham. What have you gone with?
Yeah, same reasoning really. I'm sort of trying to get on this Wickham being too short. So having a little dart at Doncaster to win and under 2.5 goals. We need a 1-0 or 2-0 Doncaster win for this. Even though Rovers have not been too good in an attacking sense this season, their defensive numbers have certainly improved in recent weeks. And I think if they can keep it tight, get the draw, get the value bet in, I think maybe if they can nick it late on, then 9-1 is a pretty nice price for that. As I said, 1-0 or 2-0 to Doncaster. I wouldn't persuade anyone away from going on a 1-0 Doncaster correct score. I think that would be an even bigger price. But yeah, just for me, Doncaster and under 2.5 goals, 9-1 with Bet365.
Lovely stuff. Now, just a bit of a disclaimer. I wasn't aware of the Ben Wignall Blackburn team news bit before I picked my wild card here, but I still believe that Coventry with Victor Gyökeres will find the net on a regular occurrence. I've switched up slightly. I've already landed the both teams scoring both halves, so I don't really need to do that again. Over 3.5 goal double in this one. So I've gone with Blackburn and Coventry over 3.5 goals. As I said, if Brereton's missing and Dolan might not be featuring, then they're going to obviously miss two big players there. But, I believe that Blackburn score goals, and they conceded a lot as well. Conceded 3 at Huddersfield, 2 at Blackpool, sorry. And obviously Coventry as well, to score 4 goals in a half of football against Fulham is impressive. But also they go away from home and lose 5-0 to Luton. So, two teams there who know where either net is, let's say that. And also I've gone with Scunthorpe and Forest Green, touched on it early on in the show. Scunthorpe lost 3-0 to Newport and 6-1 to Harrogate. So clearly at the minute, confidence is lacking in defence. Forest Green, I know they didn't score against Swindon last time out, but I think they may have scored in every game apart from that. And obviously 23 goals in League Two this season is no mean feat. So yes, 13-1 double. As I said, a bit of fun about it. Probably will have only £2 on it, but who knows? So that's my for today. Lovely stuff. Well, it's good to be back previewing this weekend's action. Hope you enjoyed that. We've got another show later on to preview even more weekend action. It's the weekend preview of Alfie, and you two can be back to join Alfie for that one as well. As always, make sure you subscribe to FLW TV on YouTube. Thanks a lot for watching, and until later on, take care.